Hello again, my loves. We are here for EL content and we are learning about informational writing. And we've been talking about all the things that informational books have. And we are going to read a book today that is a nonfiction book, that is an informational book. And before we read it, I am actually going to just show it to you. And I'm going to show you all the different parts and components of the book that are informational or that make it a nonfiction book, okay? Remember now, I'm not reading it first. I just want us to take a picture walk and kind of talk about what makes it a informational book. Now remember, let's come over here. Come over to our chart. Informational books have headings. Headings are like the title of a topic or the title of a page. Informational books have, sorry guys, diagrams, meaning that they have little pictures. They have little pictures that show, see that shark picture? That's a diagram. They have labels. Labels are little parts that are showing like the writing parts of the diagram. It shows like the little parts of it. They have bold words. Bold words mean they are darker in color. And informational books have captions. So at the bottom of a little diagram or at the bottom of a picture, they have little words to describe the picture, okay? And remember, informational books are facts. They tell facts about something. So it is real life things, okay? So now let's take a picture walk with this book before I read it. So this is the book we're gonna read today, and you guys are going to actually make your own life cycles. And that's going to be our informational writing piece for the week. But before we start to read it and before we start to know what we have to do, I'm going to show you all the components of this book that make it nonfiction or informational. There's something that I don't have up on my chart, but the table of contents actually tells us all the different parts of the book. So all the different chapters, sort of, and that makes a book a nonfiction book because we know that there are different parts of the book that are factual and that tell us different information. All right, so that's one thing that we know, nonfiction, informational book. Okay, let's turn the page. Oh, look at this. These are headings. This is a heading. It's the top title of the page. A heading is like the beginning part of the page, and it talks about that specific thing. So planting seeds in spring, this is all about planting seeds in spring. Okay, we know that it has pictures. Let's see what else it has. I'm gonna see if there's any bold words in this book. Let me see. You know, I'm gonna flip through. I don't see any yet. I see a lot of pictures though. I see a lot of headings. I see pictures. I see, oh, you know what? At the end of the book, it actually has what's called a glossary. And a glossary is another thing that an informational book has. It tells all the different words that are bold in the book and all the different definitions, so what they mean. All the vocabulary words that are important and what they mean, okay? And this book also has lots of real life pictures, right? They're not cartoon pictures, right? You see like real pictures. These are things that we see out in the world. These are real life pictures, okay? So this is an informational book. This is a nonfiction book that we are going to read to find out more about the apple tree's life cycle. We are gonna make an apple tree life cycle for the week, for this week, for our informational writing piece. Okay, you ready? Here we go. An apple tree's life cycle. Who out there loves to go apple picking in the fall? I go every year with my family and it is so much fun. So guess what? I love apple picking. I love apples. I think the apple life cycle is so cool because there's so many different steps that the apple tree takes to get to a big apple tree. It's not just one little seed and then an apple tree. It takes many different steps to get to be an apple tree. Okay, so here we go, my friends. Let me back up. There's big pictures in this one. Planting seeds in spring. Apples are a delicious, juicy fruit. Yum. They grow on trees. There are about 7,500 kinds of apple trees. Oh my goodness. Over 7,000. Look at that. That's an apple orchard. That's where they grow the apple trees. Many apple trees start as tiny seeds. After the seed is planted, roots grow. Next, a shoot pushes up out of the ground. So the apple seed is planted. A couple days later or a couple weeks later, we see a little tiny shoot that comes out of the ground. Now, does that look like an apple tree? Not yet. Leaves begin to grow. The shoot becomes a seedling. In 2 years, the plant is a sapling. It is stronger and its trunk is getting thick. So that's what a sapling looks like. So the shoot after 2 years turns into a sapling. A red, delicious apple tree is full grown in 6 to 10 years. So listen to that, friends. You guys, some of you aren't even 6 years old yet. Do you know it takes as long as you guys have been living to make a full-grown apple tree? An adult tree can grow to be 25 feet tall. Each spring, bright blossoms grow with the leaves. So if you see a tree like this, it's an apple tree. It doesn't look like one yet, but it is an apple tree. It's the blossoms that come first. Blossoms have stamens full of pollen. Pollen. That's why Miss Newen sounds like this right now, because of the pollen. Pollen is what we are usually allergic to when we're sneezing. Blossoms also have nectar, a sweet juice that bees like. Bees fly from blossom to blossom to drink the nectar. So you know how sometimes you see bees on flowers? They love the apple blossom tree. When it's a blossom, they are there. They are sucking all that nectar out. Another animal that, or another insect that loves the nectar on the flowers is a butterfly. Pollen dust sticks on bees' hairy legs. They carry it from one blossom to another. Pollen helps to make new apple seeds. Growing fruit in the summer. Small apples grow where the blossoms used to be. The apples get bigger and tastier. 200 apples may grow on one tree. So before it's a little apple, it's a blossom. Picking fruit in the fall. In fall, ripe apples are picked for selling. Apple trees' leaves turn red and yellow and fall to the ground. The trees are bare, but branches are covered with light buds. So this is what happens in the fall time. The seeds are planted in the summer, and then in the fall, not the next fall, the following fall, then the apple trees are ready to be picked. Apple trees in the winter. Trees rest during the cold months. In spring, the buds open and the life cycle begins again. So they rest during the winter time, but the buds start coming and in the springtime, and then it starts all over again. And then that I showed you was the glossary. Those are some vocabulary words that are important in this story. Okay, so this, my friends, was a nonfiction book. It is an informational book because it has, what did we say it had? It has headings. It didn't really have labels, and it had bold words though. So headings, it had bold words, and it had table of contents, which tells us different like parts of the book. It had real life pictures. Okay, so that is one nonfiction book or one informational book that we can look at and figure out. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen to you, and we are going to actually write some apple tree facts down, okay? So we just read this book about apple trees, and I want us to try and figure out what some facts are about apple trees, okay? So let me show it again. All right, so let's look through it. So what is one thing that we can say about apple trees? You know what? You see that heading right there? It says planting seeds in the spring. So I'm gonna write that. Seeds are planted in the spring, okay? See, what else? I'm gonna flip through and I'm gonna try and look back so I remember. Remember, we have to use all the different parts that are important, the details. Oh, okay. It says here that many apple trees start as seeds. So I'm going to say that. Apple trees start as seeds. Interesting. Okay. Oh, but then you know what? What's next? After the apple seeds start as trees, apple trees start as seeds, sorry, it becomes a little tiny shoot. Okay, so then an apple seed turns into a tiny shoot. So it comes out of the ground like a little tiny shoot. And this looks, let me space this out right here. And notice how I'm writing in the color red because some apples are red, right? All right, let's turn the page here. Let's see. Oh, then after that, it looks to be a little bit bigger. And that, my friends, if you remember, is called a sapling. So next, a shoot turns into a sapling, okay? All right, let's see. Let me flip through some more. Oh, look at that. Remember what we said about this? It doesn't look like an apple tree here, but you know what? It looks really pretty, and it is an apple tree. So this is actually a apple tree, and it is blossom. So I'm gonna write an apple tree looks like blossoms. That's a good fact. That's a good fact. All right, let me turn my page. I'm gonna give some nice details. Oh, wait a minute. So what insects like the blossoms? I'm gonna say bees like the nectar in the blossom. Okay, so see all this information that we're getting from this informational text is really helping us out to try and understand the whole all the information that we can know about an apple tree. All right, let me turn the page again. Let's see. Any more things we want to say? Oh, we do know that the fruit grows in the summertime. So in the summer, the apple fruit grows, okay? And then what happens in the fall time? In the fall, the apples get picked, right? Get picked off the tree. Okay? You know what? And I think that's it. I think that's good for now. So we just came up with a lot of different facts that we just learned for an apple tree. Now, what I want us to do is to take those facts and I want you to do this. I want you to get a white piece of paper. Hopefully you have one. And in the middle, I want you to write apple tree life cycle. So this is going to be your EL content lesson, EL content assignment for Wacky Wednesday, May 13th. Okay, so pay very close attention. So we are only going to talk about the first 2 steps of the life cycle of an apple tree. All right, so now I'm going to do 1. So I'm going to put a little 1, and I'm going to make a little box. And when we make our boxes, I want us to have enough space to draw a picture. Okay, so the first step is a seed. Okay, I'm going to show you my pictures in a minute, but I'm going to write the word seed. I'm going to draw my little wonderful seed. Starts like a little tiny apple seed. And you know what? If you open the inside of an apple, there are seeds there. and they are black seeds. Okay, so I'm going to start with a seed. Here we go. Seed, seed, seed. See that? I'm going to show you right now. So I wrote number 1. The first stage of the life cycle of an apple tree is a seed. All right. Now number 2. I wonder who knows what it is out there. We talked about it. Let me look back at my notes. See, my notes are right here. So it says seeds are planted in the spring. Apple trees start as seeds. Oh, look here. Then an apple seed turns into a tiny shoot. And I'm going to show you the picture again so you remember what a tiny shoot looks like. Okay? This, my friends, is a tiny shoot. So the next step in the life cycle of an apple tree is it is a tiny shoot. So I'm going to put number 2, and I'm going to write the word shoot. And you know what? The shoot, I'm going to do some dirt on the bottom here. And the shoot, remember that we have to draw what we see. So the shoot is green, right? It's like a little green with like little leaves with it. So we're going to go over here. And it's like little tiny leaves coming out like that. Like this. Okay, I'm going to show you. That's my second step, okay? So my first step of the apple life cycle, apple tree life cycle is a seed, black seeds. Then it becomes a shoot, all right? So I only want you to do the first 2 steps of the apple tree life cycle. I want you to look at these notes that I kind of wrote to you. You can have your mommies and daddies help you read through them. Then I want you to think about the awesome, awesome life cycle of a apple tree. Okay, so that's your EL content lesson for the day. Your assignment is to draw the pictures and write the first 2 steps or the first 2 stages of the life cycle of an apple tree. Have fun with this, my loves. See you soon.